Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker and you just want to hang out, you can do that as well, and it's okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. It is Saturday evening. I am going to be working on a fine Lego set. We're working on the Retro Roller Skate 3-in-1, but we're going to do the skateboard. So we're going to get some skateboarding in. Now, a thing I wanted to bring up. A viewer reached out to me about Thursday because they were watching the YouTube archive. They didn't watch the stream. And they were like, what did the person say in chat that made you so mad? To which I didn't realize I was mad on Thursday. Looking back on it, I was. So for those that weren't there, you're watching this later on YouTube as well. You just weren't at the stream. What had happened was I was fuming about the mistreatment of someone who I respect very much in the wrestling world, Nyla Rose, who basically, because she is transgender, the athletic commission in Oklahoma was like, they misgendered Nyla, but basically Nyla should not have been competing, and they warned AEW about that, how they broke the rules, because there's no intergender wrestling, even though Nyla Rose is a woman. They do not consider people who are transgender to be of the gender that they are. They go by the birth gender, which is bullshit. Gender is spectrum and nonsense. Who cares? But also they very much care. And I was mad about that. And somebody had come in to chat, and we had quite a few folks that joined us for the first time on Thursday. Even new people that just kind of came in. That's great. You want that, right? Like, you want new people in the chat. You want people to come by and hang out and like the vibe and decide to stay we hope they stay. Sometimes what people assume with a low view stream, and my views are low. We're talking 10 to 20 viewers at any one given time, probably about 40 to 50 viewers across the 2 hours, right? That's low. When people come in and they see someone streaming and they don't see a lot of people actively in chat, or they don't see a lot of viewers on the numbers, they think that this is their time to get the streamer's attention. And you know me, let's work on the skateboard while I rant about how I ranted and someone didn't want me to rant. They wanted to steer the conversation. Let's talk about that. Let's go to the overhead here. I'm currently at 37 subscribers. I want to get to 50. You know that. I'll mention that. Let me work on this. So, I was in the middle of a rant. Hey, Aristophan, on Thursday. I was in the middle of a rant of something that was important to me that I wanted to talk about. And this person came in, and they had... Well, first off, they were like, what are you talking about? Like, they came in during the conversation, and at that point, like, come on. You missed something. I'm sorry you missed something, but you missed something. And so I was continuing to talk, and maybe they didn't know, maybe, if I give them the benefit of the doubt, they did not understand via context clues that I was in a rant and I was going somewhere and I had things I wanted to talk about, right? Benefit of the doubt, they didn't recognize that. The most likely thing is they wanted to be a conversation right there. And streaming is a conversation. You know this. If you have something that I'm not talking about that you want to mention in chat, I'm happy to hear it. Certainly by my regulars, but also by new folks. I'm certainly not against having the same conversations we've had before, right? I will talk about why I started streaming, how I got into it, what my favorite kits are, what's my favorite kit I worked on recently. Like, I don't mind answering those things, like advice for a variety of subjects when it comes in the world of model kit building. Certainly, I can't really give advice about the wonderful world of airbrushing because I don't do it. but in a wide variety of subjects, I can certainly talk about when it comes to those things. And a lull in conversation, I think it's totally okay. But I have come to the decision that because I am not chasing the most views possible, I am not chasing. Ghost Valve just resubbed at tier 1 saying almost a year, 35 months. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Ghost Valve for resubbing. That's very kind of you, Ghost Valve. Appreciate that very much. That's so nice. Yeah, if you're a subscriber, let's throw those emotes in there. But because I am not chasing partner, right? I am not doing the things. I am not following trends. I am trying my best to do the best streams possible for viewers so they have a good time and they can hang out. And this is a cool place with good vibes. That's my thing, right? Because of that, I don't have to drop what I'm doing for every single thing. If I am in the middle of a rant, I will keep ranting. You also, regular viewers can recognize that if it is the second hour of the stream and I am talking about and I'm talking about a variety of things that I want to chat about, I will. I will just, chat about those things. If a user comes in who is just a string of numbers and they say a weird nonsense thing, I will delete them, a viewer, which we just had here. I don't know what that was, but we don't need it. I'm good. But yeah, if I'm talking about, if I'm doing a breakdown of an anime episode, it's episode 6 of a show and I want to talk about that episode in the second hour of the stream, and someone comes in and asks a question about the larger world of model kit building, I'm hopefully I'm going to be polite and let them know, hey, I have a thing I want to talk about here. We can circle back about that, but I'm not going to get to it right now. Or when I do the pause for the cause, sometimes people come in during the pause for the cause, which is awesome. Welcome aboard. And they want to talk about something else. We aren't going to do that. Because when I say this, I mean it. I'm so thrilled that people choose to spend any amount of time here in chat. They want to hang out. That's so lovely. It's so cool. I'm so lucky that people want to hang out, that more people want to subscribe than can view at any given time, which is wild and rad. As long as somebody's watching, I'm happy. I'm happy to do this. I enjoy doing this stuff. But it's a weird thing where I guess because I'm not chasing any big goals, I don't fucking give a shit if people are gonna be weird. I don't have to give people the benefit of the doubt. I can choose to just go, nah, I'm good. I don't have to chase it, right? I don't need to, because this is not, I am not trying to be a full-time streamer. I'm a part-time streamer who has a consistent schedule, but I still don't need, this is not going to be my job. It is a thing that I like doing, and I'm happy to do it. And someday, the amount of money that comes in will be the same, if not more, than the amount of money I spend to do it. It's not that has almost never been the case. There was a brief period where it was. When I was only streaming 2 times a week, and then once a month I did a bonus stream. If I don't count the money I spent on video games that I was playing on those bonus streams, because I was playing them other times, and I wasn't buying games just for the streams, then I probably broke even then, because my numbers were pretty good. And turns out you build more kits per week when you add another 2 hours in. But so at one point I was pretty much broken even. I haven't broken even on a stream in a very long time, but I enjoy doing it. It's something that I'm happy to do. Happy to be here and doing this stuff. But I know that sometimes people come into chat, and because they don't see a lot of communication happening back and forth, they're like, aha, my chance to get someone's attention. Um, and I'm not saying that if you are here for the first time that like I'm going to ignore people. I'm certainly not going to do that. But I'm also not going to bend over backwards. Like I'm not going to abandon the thing that I want to talk about just because somebody is here for the first time. I you know, and I don't think that's bad. I know there are some people who say like, no, you got to placate people. You never want to block anyone. You time them out if they're being disruptive. You just ignore them. Yeah, that advice is great for people who are looking to build their brand and they're hustling and they're trying to do whatever and they're begging people to do co-streams and guest spots and they're doing everything. They're chasing trends and they're doing whatever they got to do and streaming for 10 hours a day because someone once told them that the longer you stream, the more likely it is that that in your category you will be pushed out to people that are looking for stuff in that category, which is not true, but people really, really want to believe that because it's a time sink and they're convincing themselves that all that time is worth it. Although, yes, being on stream it turns out the longer you stream, the more likely it is that people will come in because you may have built a viewers. That's the thing. The more viewers you have in a category, the more likely that other people are going to check you out because you have a viewership. And people equate a high viewership with quality, which is weird. That's a streaming thing that I've always found odd, but that's human nature. Really, we look at stuff, we look at those numbers, and we think like, well, if 100 people are watching a streamer, they must be good at it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna like what they do. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I just hope that the people that come into chat and hang out that are new find something they like, and if they don't like what I'm doing, I hope that they find a streamer they like. That's the best I can offer. And then the regulars, the folks that come in, even if I'm doing something, I'm talking about something you're not interested in because you like the community, you like me, that you'll stick around and see what's up and wait for the next thing because I might talk about a thing you like in just a minute. Who knows? Who even knows? A little bit of housekeeping. Housekeeping, that's a weird thing to say. It has been officially announced that the much anticipated for a long time and then quietly no information came out about it. There was a movie that was going to come out, an animated movie based on an incredibly popular anime franchise. One season of one show, but still, we'll call it a franchise. They were going to make a movie called Ice Adolescence, and it was a Yuri on Ice movie. They were going to make a Yuri on Ice movie. This was Mappa was going to do it. And, Yuri on Ice, incredibly popular. I think some people weren't necessarily around for it and don't quite understand how this sports anime that was just like very popular internationally, like an ice skating anime that is, while not just pretty overt, while still trying to dodge the like this is a queer anime, but it was very much was a queer anime, but it was definitely trying to be like, well, it's open for interpretation. It's not, but whatever. It was a big hit for Mappa. Here's the thing. Mappa just makes big hits now. They just make big multi-season movies, merchandise hits. The Mappa of 2024 isn't interested in the amount of money that Yuri on Ice made. The amount of money a Yuri on Ice movie makes, unfortunately, is not enough to move the needle for that company, which is a shame because work went on that movie. We don't know how much work was on there, but there was certainly effort put into a movie that then got delayed and delayed and delayed, and then clearly was not being worked on for quite some time and then they announced come to decision, unfortunately, to cancel its production, which is a shame because, again, it's a lovely anime, and that I'll say this: Yuri on Ice was one of those shows that opened doors for people that didn't necessarily believe they liked anime or that they would like anime. It was a show that allowed some people into the medium, and that's a shame that those people that went on to watch other stuff don't get to have another experience with those characters. It is a shame. But yeah, apparently they were like, due to various circumstances is basically it. And that various circumstances is, we make anime that can have like a lot of seasons and a lot of spin-offs and just make oodles of money. And so we're not going to work on that anymore because we just want to put the people that would have worked on it, we'd rather have them make this other thing that will make us way more money than a movie. Which is a shame, and not super surprising, but still disappointing. Doesn't have to be Doesn't have to be shocking to be disappointing. Working on our skateboard here. Let's try to get some more of this done. Cool pattern on our board that we're building here. I only said we were doing the skateboard. I definitely think we're going to finish the skateboard and start the boombox. I have a feeling that we'll start the boombox and we'll finish the boombox on Monday. That's my guess. Maybe we'll actually finish both. I don't think we'll finish both, but maybe we will. I don't know. But at the very least, I knew we were going to work on the skateboard, so that's why I said, okay, I'm definitely working on this board. I need more of these. Let's see. Other things. Unfortunately, there were some releases for WWE. We found out late last night during SmackDown that some WWE wrestlers, as far as I know, it was only 5 people, which is pretty low. Often, not always, but often in the modern era WWE, when there were layoffs, it would happen the week after, like the week of WrestleMania. Now, this was a couple weeks later. It's still in the window. And those released were Veer Mahan, Sangha, Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, and Zion Quinn. Xia Li is the interesting one of those in that WWE just had her. This is a funny thing. Like, they had her travel to Montreal for Monday. On Monday, she wasn't on Raw, but she was part of a taping for a show that aired literally last night in various locations. A Main Event, which is their syndicated show that airs throughout the weekend and internationally as well, depending on your location. But it starts airing on Friday nights in some regions. So they flew her out to Montreal to have a short match that she lost, and then a couple of days later released her. She's the first Chinese-born WWE wrestler, so that is certainly that was something of note, and at the time, and now it's frustrating because she was certainly, like, I think Xia Li as an NXT superstar was interesting. She had a fun presentation. They were they built her up as like a boss of a stable. It was kind of different. It was neat. None of that existed when she went up to the main roster. She just became somebody that knew martial arts and got beaten. And so, yeah, it felt like a bit of a waste. There was a brief window where she was in a stable with a couple other people that they almost immediately dropped, which seemed out of nowhere, which was a bummer for her, I'm sure. Veer, you may remember Veer from weeks and weeks of WWE saying Veer is coming. Veer is coming to Raw. There were all these teases for Veer. Veer is going to come. And then, like, Finally, it took forever. Finally, Veer came, and then they didn't do anything with Veer. And then he went back to NXT in a tag team that was pretty cool. They were well-dressed foreign men that were nice guys, and then eventually they became heels. But for a little while there, it was an interesting take on the trope. They were just well-dressed, but like decent gentlemen. Like that was kind of their gimmick. And it's not much of a gimmick, but it was kind of neat. Zion Quinn, I think, got hurt. I have not seen reports of it, but I believe he must have been hurt because he worked a couple months ago, but then hadn't worked since like the middle of last year. And he was brought up from NXT, but they didn't really have anything to do for him. So he was kind of bouncing around shows as mostly enhancement talent. And then filling out the 5 folks that have been released is Jinder Mahal. They have indeed finally 100% hindered Jinder. Jinder Mahal again released. Jinder came in the days when in WWE, there have been multiple times over the years where WWE has done their best to try to make inroads in the Indian market, because there are a lot of Indians who are interested in wrestling and also go to live events and watch television. So there have been inroads by having Indian stars as inroads to make room there. And so there are many people that have had that push. Jinder Mahal also had a world title run some years back, kind of out of nowhere. He got really cut and looked buff as hell and had the Bollywood boys as his backup. And the presentation was really interesting. It kind of came out of nowhere. Some people weren't buying it because Jinder Mahal was basically a guy there to lose to people and occasionally have bad foreign heel gimmicks. So it was kind of weird where he suddenly went from that to being a world champion. People don't think fondly on that run, but I thought the presentation was really great. The in-ring work wasn't necessarily there. It didn't have really good challengers because his main challenger was Randy Orton. And look, I'm a Randy Orton fan, especially 2024 Randy Orton. This is a fun time. Randy Orton makes it very clear if he's interested in doing the work, and sometimes he is not. And it did not seem like he was interested in actually working with Jinder Mahal. And Jinder really needed Randy to want to be there, and it didn't seem like Randy wanted to be there. It made things rough for that storyline. So, yeah, I'm kind of bummed about him. Now, you also may remember that Jinder showed up challenging Seth Rollins as a former champion, and that was fine. And some people kind of poo-pooed that and scoffed at it. But it would have... Jinder was a one-note challenge. It was just a thing. He was just going to do it, and it was fine. It was a little bit playing off the fact that previously, a few years before that, there was a whole thing when he was champion and one of his former tag team partners came in to challenge him. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to happen again. This is kind of fun. So they did a whole thing with him challenging Seth Rollins for a title match. Around the same time, Taz's son, Hook, we'll talk about Hook in a minute, or a couple minutes about other things. Hook was making a declaration. He was challenging. He really wanted to face the AEW champion. And a lot of people were like, this is out of nowhere. Why is Hook challenging for the AEW World Championship? Like, why does he deserve that opportunity? He's got the nothing belt, the belt that is technically his dad invented it, and like it's not an official belt. Like, why is he getting a title shot? And Tony Khan doesn't like to just take criticism. He likes to argue because he's a message board poster at heart. The thing about Tony Khan is he's still the same guy. It's just he has a lot of money now. So he was like, well, people will complain about this, but no one's complaining about Jinder Mahal. And then Jinder was like, who the fuck is Hook? Which he knows who Hook is, but whatever. But it really, to me, it was just like, Tony, just fucking take the criticism. Have Hook's match with Samoa Joe be the thing that makes people go, oh, Hook does belong here. Like, let the match speak for itself. The match didn't need you justifying it on Twitter. That's a larger conversation about Tony Khan needing to post. He just maybe does not need to post. And by maybe, I mean definitely. But whatever. He can. It's his company. He can talk whatever shit he wants to talk. But yeah, you may remember Jinder from that. And of the two matches, which is the one that people remember more? It's Hook, because the Jinder match people have kind of forgotten about. And Hook has stayed somewhat relevant. So good on him. Didn't need him to talk shit. Could have just let it happen. If Tony could just take criticism, we wouldn't have to hear how AEW is where the best the wrestle every show. Yes, their tagline that on the surface I agree with, because there are some of the best wrestlers in the world wrestle on AEW. And also some wrestlers who are not that good wrestle on AEW. And also, let's be real, the tagline should be, instead of where the best wrestle, where the best are paid to sometimes wrestle should be that tagline. Because Tony Khan has a bloated roster, and there are plenty of people who are incredible that don't get to wrestle there. Like, Yuka Sakazaki is wrestling tonight on Rampage. Finally, Yuka's second match in this year. Yuka Sakazaki has had 2 matches in 2024. A full-time roster member who moved to the United States, left Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling to be a full-time AEW wrestler, graduated from there, and then they've used her now, counting today, twice. So yeah, it's where the best wrestlers eat in catering. It's unfortunately that. All right, what did I do wrong? That doesn't look right. Look at this. Look at this done. See how that looks. Oh, I did the other one wrong. That's what it was. Okay. I didn't know Yuka moved here or was even full time. Yes. Yuka Sakazaki has graduated from from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. She graduated so that she could be a full-time wrestler with AEW. She has always been on the roster in a part-time capacity since day one, basically. But she has, she is a full-time wrestler on the roster, moved to the United States. Now, rumor has it, she got a boyfriend. Yuka's got a boyfriend who is also a wrestler in AEW, and when he became full-time there and moved to the United States, that sped up the process of her graduating from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling to then focus on being an AEW full-time. But you wouldn't know she was there full-time for the amount of times that she wrestles there. Speaking of AEW, we'll talk a little about, we got a pay-per-view tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. Should be a good one. Tamari Dynasty. 12 matches on the card. 3 pre-show. And then 9 on the actual show. Most titles on the line. The only title that is not on the line for AEW will be the TNT title, because the TNT champion will be in a trios match or a 6-man, depending on your vibe with that. And so Adam Copeland will not be defending his belt. But every other title is on the line, and there are a couple matches that are not. And including, when I say every title, I do mean also the the FTW Championship. So I guess I'll give my predictions on that card. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here, as always. Predictions. I really hope that Bullet Club Gold defeats the Acclaimed. If the Acclaimed win, it is a phenomenally terrible idea. So I'm very hopeful that we see a victory for the Guns, and they unify, because it's winner take all. I would love them to unify the AW World Trios Championships and the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Championships into just the Ring of Honor titles, and they get rid of the AW Trios belts, because it doesn't seem necessary. There's so many fucking belts. Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. That's a Trent Beretta victory. That is the main event of a Rampage or the mid-show match of a Collision or a Dynamite. That doesn't make any sense to me being on the pre-show. It is very strange that that is on the pre-show. That's on the pre-show. Again, I don't particularly need to see that match, but whatever. But Trent should win. Hopefully there'll be some storyline stuff. And also we've got Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata. Orange Cassidy and Shibata are on the pre-show. Orange Cassidy, the ranked number 2 in the AW rankings. He is second in line for a title shot right now, for the world title. But yeah, he's in a tag match against Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty with Anthony Ogogo in their corner. Now, I would imagine the feel-good victory here would be Orange Cassidy and Shibata, but I imagine shenanigans, perhaps with Trent. Maybe somebody else in BF and Best Friends is going to betray Orange Cassidy. So I'm going with Shane Taylor Promotions cheating to win because it's a pre-show match. Hey, everybody, I built a skateboard. I really should have predicted that this would not take 2 hours. It took 36 minutes. We have to disassemble it, and then so we're going to start the other one. So I'm going to edit skateboard and boombox. But yeah, I don't know why I thought that would not take as long as it did. We do have to take it apart. I got to take a photo. We got to do all that stuff. So I will take a photo of this, and then we will move on to the next bit. Oh, and then also, somebody wanted to see... hold on one second. There we go. I'm coming back. Don't worry about it. Somebody wanted to see what a Gundam looked like on the skateboard. So here is the Rose Gundam. Here's the Rose Gundam on a skateboard. A high-grade Rose Gundam on a skateboard. This skateboard is too big for this Gundam. Maybe a Master Grade would fit better on it, but I did want to and I will take a photo of it because that is funny and it was requested. Main show card for AEW: Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. In my opinion, the House of Black should win this so that Malachi Black is the next contender for Adam Copeland. A trio that work well together and have a name and are a group should beat 3 people thrown together, 2 of whom have history but also just had a blood war, and 1 person who has no real history with Eddie Kingston or Mark Briscoe. The team should beat the 3 people. I could see it going the other way and then that leading to conflict, but why not have Malachi Black pin Adam Copeland, leading to shenanigans, leading to him issuing the challenge for that belt? Why wouldn't he want the TNT belt? He probably would want that. He probably should want that. All right, let me take a photo here of the skateboard with the Rose Gundam as requested. Very silly. And then I'll take a photo of this skateboard as well. Hook versus Chris Jericho in an FTW rules match for the FTW Championship. That just means hardcore. It's just a hardcore match. God, I want Hook to win this. It doesn't make any sense for Jericho to win. It fucking does not make sense for Jericho to be the FTW champion in 2024. It does not make sense. Like, yes, Hook won already. Hook already beat Jericho. But what if he beat Jericho again and we ended this very bad feud that does not help anyone and is not helping Hook at all? What about that? That would be great. All right, let's disassemble because now we have to build the boombox, and I don't know. At least some of the pieces we're gonna need some of them. We're gonna need the this part here. I did not do a poll for my $10 patrons about what they'd like to see me build next because I didn't think that would come up today. So I will just pick a model kit if we have time by the end of the stream. I'll just pick something for us to build if that ends up happening. I'm going to use a tool because I got to pop out this part here. I should have anticipated. I did not anticipate. I goofed. I made a mistake, everybody. Should have anticipated it, and I didn't. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International Championship. Roderick Strong. I could see Kyle O'Reilly joining them, getting beaten down to do it. He's going to have 3 dudes around him with Adam Cole back on the... Adam Cole was always on the injured list for a while, but Adam Cole is now on, house recovery. He's not traveling on the road. So I don't expect to see him at all. I don't expect to see Adam Cole at all for a while. So you want to have Roderick Strong continue to win. It doesn't make sense for Kyle to do it now. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. Julia will probably have backup. Willow Nightingale will definitely have Soki Hathaway for the house rules match. We don't know what the house rule are. There's no count out, and the challenger can make a rule. We don't know what that rule is yet. We don't know what Willow's going to pick. This feels like a done deal. There could be a swerve coming here, but really, we know that Mercedes Moné has declared that she is going to face the winner of this match at Double or Nothing in a month. And she wants to fight Willow. So I feel like Willow is winning this belt to then face Mercedes because Willow was there when Mercedes injured herself and had to take time off. Now, did Willow Nightingale injure Mercedes Moné? No. Mercedes Moné injured herself. But that doesn't make for proper storyline. So Mercedes blames Willow for the injury. So it makes sense that she would want to face Willow for the belt, it feels like. But again, someone attacked Willow. We don't know who it was. Could this be Stokely Hathaway's ingenious plan all along? Is Chris Statlander going to turn heel and fight Willow, which means that Mercedes will fight Julia Hart? I don't know. I think Willow versus Mercedes is a better match, especially for Mercedes' first match back after being injured, because Willow is a worker and Julia is good for her age and experience in the ring. I think she's very good, but she ain't necessarily going to be able to carry somebody who is just back from injury for her first match. Okada versus Pac for the AEW Continental Championship. This is Okada's first title defense. He ain't losing. There are some matches that could have interesting changes to them, interesting finishes, different directions that I didn't see coming. I don't see that. I don't see a world where Okada loses the belt to Pac and is a transitional champion. I just don't see it happening. It could, but I just don't see it. Doesn't feel right. Young Bucks, that's Nicholas and Matt Jackson, versus FTR in the finals to declare the new AEW World Tag Champions in a ladder match. I think it doesn't matter because either team is going to be challenged by the Motor City Machine Guns, who reportedly have signed with AEW. I feel like that's the next feud. I feel like the Bucks are definitely going to win because they have an interesting storyline, and them taking the belts hostage makes sense for their heel storyline. Jack Perry, reportedly done with New Japan, will be back in. Him in the Elite makes a lot of sense, riding that heat that they think he has. Will that translate? Who knows? Will that work? I don't know. That seems to be where they're going with it, though. So I'm like not super shocked that they might end up going with that. Like it does not super surprise me. Honestly, I'm so meh about it. I think the match will be strong because these two teams work really well together. But there were new, interesting, exciting tag teams in that tournament. There were people that came in from Ring of Honor, like that were showing people up. There are hot, young tag teams and experienced tag teams that could have done something with this opportunity. And instead, it's the most obvious outcome. Oh, it's the Bucks versus FTR. And like House of Black lost in the first round, and that's kind of shocking, but I don't know. Unfortunately, can't really bring myself to be super amped about that match. I wish it was. Timeless Toni Storm defends her championship with Mariah May and Luther against Thunder Rosa. This is a weird one. There's so many women involved in this storyline coming from so many different directions. There's Deonna Purrazzo wanting in. There's various Japanese wrestlers wanting time with Mariah May. We still haven't done Mariah May versus Toni Storm. There are just, there's just so many women around, which is awesome, that are involved in the story, which is awesome. But I don't see them taking the belt off Toni. And I don't see it being Thunder Rosa. I'm happy Thunder is back. I don't think she is given, she is 100% where she was before her injury, which is a shame, but it's understandable. But yeah, I don't necessarily see it. I think the promos have been fun. I think the matches leading up to have been cool. I'd like to see what happens next. I think we're getting Mariah May versus Toni Storm soon, and I think that'll be interesting, and we'll see where that goes. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, singles match. Who's the best wrestler? Nothing on the line other than bragging rights and pride. This one, a month ago, I would have said, oh, it's Ospreay. Ospreay wins this. Ospreay definitely wins this. It's Ospreay. There's a weird thing where the Don Callis family, what if the Don Callis family didn't want Ospreay to win and cost him the match? I think that would be cheap and shitty. Bryan Danielson loves putting people over in this, he's winding down his career. And so like him beating Ospreay doesn't make much sense. He's living the dream. He's wrestling his heroes in Japan and in Mexico. And like, it totally makes sense if he was just like, yeah, I don't need to win this. Why would I win this? Pushes Okada up farther in the card. Or not Okada. Ospreay. It's going to be a great match. But I don't know if it I don't know. I mean, I'm going with Ospreay. But there is a world in which they just go they swerve us by going with Bryan. And then Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana for the AEW World Championship. I know some people will say Joe's title run has not been long enough for him to lose here. To which I say he had 2 title defenses on television, which were more than I thought he was going to have. I understand why people would be disappointed if he lost, but I don't think you can keep having Swerve in the title picture and not win the belt. If you're not going to put it on Swerve, he shouldn't be in the match. He should not be Joe's challenger in the show, because if he goes to the back of the line, it's just his momentum is going to threatens to be crushed. This is the time for Swerve Strickland. Then you have Hangman Adam Page show up again to chase the belt and fuck with him. And you get fully heel Hangman versus fully babyface Swerve Strickland, because the crowd is already going to be cheering for Swerve. They're already on board with it. He's already the babyface in this feud. I think like it's just what you do. It's just where you go with it. I'm saying like if it's not Swerve tonight, I don't know when it is, and it needs to happen. It just needs to. Swerve Strickland needs to be the world champion. It's time to do it. Whoops. I dropped a piece and I found it. I probably don't need this for the boombox, but you never know. I might need it for the boombox, everybody. But yeah, that's the card. I think it looks pretty good. I think TV has been solid for it outside of some weirdness. I think that I'm only really interested in one of the 3 pre-show matches, which I usually like all of them because they're usually like weird things that don't mean anything, but like full of great people. And these are storyline ones that I don't really care about the storylines, which is weird for me to say because I often really care about storylines and also the wrestling. I like all of it, like both of those things. So I'm like, I don't know. I want the Acclaimed to lose those belts and then do something else that does not involve Billy Gunn. The Acclaimed were red hot and they have simmered. The MJF stuff was bad. Their time as the Trios champions has been whatever. The idea was that they were going to join up with the Bang Bang Gang, with Bullet Club Gold. The idea was, hey, we got beat up, you got beat up by the Undisputed Kingdom. There's strength in numbers. Let's roll together. And you would assume that meant let's roll together and take on this group that fucked with us, that like took us out of action, that attacked us multiple times. Let's go beat them up. But then they didn't do that. They just hung out together while some of them got very pissed off in character, got very pissed off about the whole interaction. And it's like, what were we doing? What were we doing there? Very weird. Very strange. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a bit, but let's get started on building a boombox. That storyline bummed me out because it just didn't really go anywhere or do anything. It was weird. It's a weird time. So I'm hoping this ends it. Get the Acclaimed as heels or back in the tag division where they belong. Build up some of their lost momentum. It's time to drop Billy Gunn. No reason to have Billy Gunn hanging out with them anymore. Have Billy Gunn turn his back on the Acclaimed and join in with Bullet Club Gold. That's the dumbest way to do it. So they should do that because that would be very silly. All right, so let's get into maybe some news of the variety of video game. Maybe some video game news here. Let's see. Hey, do you remember City Skylines 2? City Skylines 2 came out and everyone was like amped about that because City Skylines like kind of like was a thing that was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, it's one of these and it's really good. And people were like, oh, this is so good. Oh, this is great. This is exactly what I want. And then they were like, we were putting out another one. And people were like, hell yeah. And they were like, hey, wait, what the fuck's wrong with this game? And the developers were like, what? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. And the reasons you're coming up with for it being bad are wrong. Like they were like, okay, I think this might be the reason why this game is buggy and weird in this ways. And they were like, no, that's not the reason. And they're like, then why is it like this? And they were like, um, so Colossal Order, basically put out an apology because also turns out the recent DLC Beach Properties is also buggy and weird. And they were like, yeah, sorry. We see and understand the disappointment many of you have expressed after the release of City Skylines 2 and the recent release of Beach Properties. We asked for your patience and support, and you've shown them. In return, we let you down. So basically, they're like, hey, we asked you to be patient with us as we fix shit. You were, and then we didn't do that. Our bad. We thought we could make up for the shortcomings of the game in a time frame that was unrealistic and rushed out a DLC that should not have been published in its current form. We are truly sorry, says Mariana Hallikainen, and the CEO, the deputy CEO, I should say, of Paradox, the publisher, Paradox Interactive. They put a joint statement. Developers will be issuing refunds for people who bought Beach Properties and will change the pack to free DLC. So basically they're like, this doesn't cost money anymore. And then anybody that didn't get it, because they were waiting on it, they'll get it. The thing that isn't that great and they're sorry for. But you said, Pat, I bet there was like an expensive edition that you could buy that included that, right? Because there's always a big edition, right? Yeah. The Ultimate Edition players won't receive a refund because you can't refund the money they took from you a long time ago for this now free DLC. But they'll get 3 additional creator packs and 3 radio stations, which is, of course, stuff that they sell separately. They'll just get those things for free. Yes, they had their fake-ass early access that wasn't early access because they were like, no, this is actually the game. It's not early access. We're not going to do anything that in early access. This was just to get... This is instead of getting pre-orders, we're just doing this. City Skylines 2 launched October 2023, and it has over 2,300 mostly negative reviews on Steam. Those are recent reviews. With most of the critiques noting poor PC performance. And even with like modern PCs with like high-end NVIDIA cards. Despite the player feedback, they moved forward with the release because people were like, hey, this is... Well, first off, people were like, hey, your requirements for this game seem ridiculously high. And they were like, yeah, that's going to be fine. People will want to play the game. And then it came out and people were like, oh, what the fuck? They basically were like, look, we understand what you're saying, but we think we have to put this game out now. And then maybe they realized that, oh no, that didn't work out. There have been patches. There were patches till November, and then they stopped doing. So here's the thing, right? I forgot about this, and I had heard about this last year. In November, they realized, oh shit, we have too many people working on bug fixes and patches. We need to move those people onto the DLC. So in November, they were like, we're pausing updates so that we can focus on our paid DLC, which obviously some people had paid for. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate that. Welcome to the cheer leaderboard. Very kind of you. Oh, I gotta do this sound effect. Cha-ching. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Let's see. Yeah, so basically the DLC was coming out in March, and November they were like, we got to buckle down on this DLC. Sorry. Apparently that DLC also has an overwhelmingly negative rating on Steam. No, I'm good. I don't. Did a bunch of people's accounts get hacked? Is that what happened? Because there's a thing in Twitch now where you can set that people can't I can't have people can't chat or follow unless they have a verified account through email and phone. So it's just that people stole old accounts, because this nonsense that Mazik said that I've deleted said some weird thing, but I looked at their account and their account has existed since 2018. So it's just an old account? I don't know. Or is there a weird increase this week in people who are just like, I'm just going to go and be a first-time chatter and say weird things? Because it feels like there's a lot of them right now. I don't know. Am I accusing that person of being a bot? Maybe. I'm not up on stuff, so maybe I don't know that that's a new fun thing that people are doing. I don't know. I guess I'll say, yeah. Because if it's spam, it's weird. And if it's lulz, I don't know what the end game is. Maybe I'm talking about them and that's a victory. They won because I had to pause what I was saying to look at it and go, what the fuck? I don't know. It's weird. It's just this stream and Thursday's stream have had a lot of first-time chatters saying weird shit. It's odd. And no follow-ups. What Mondo's said epic. Tunic said bro. Or Tunsi. Dirty is here and wants me to hit the yeah button, and I will. Yeah. Thank you, Dirty. Lord Crashman wants me to hit the dance button, and I will. I'll hit the dance button. Thank you for using channel points. But it's a thing where I'm like, and then Lucille said, so cool, but they don't follow up. Now, are they waiting for me to respond to them and then they'll follow up? Or do they just come into a chat, type some words, and then leave to go to another chat? I don't know. I don't. If what I'm doing right now, where I'm like, I don't get it, if that's the point, I guess I got owned. I guess I got owned because I'm struggling to understand what's going on. But it's one of those things where I'm like, am I gonna have to do follower only chat where you have to be a follower for a certain amount of time before you can chat? But I don't want to do that because that sucks, because there are going to be people who come in who are new follower or interested, who are new people. And that feels bad. I'm never going to do subscriber only chat. But do I have to do do I have to do you can't chat unless you've been following for a while? Maybe I got to do that. That sucks. I don't know. We'll find out. right? If this is like a thing and Monday I'm getting this again, I'm only going to put up with it for so long. Dirty says, I always picture the Dr. Evil, I'm hip, I'm cool speech when I don't get stuff anymore. Yeah, I mean, Dirty, like, at a certain point, like, I understand that pop culture is passing me by. I listen to so little new music these days. I rarely listen to music that is not by new music, I should say. I rarely listen to new music that is not by bands that I have liked for a while or musicians that I've liked for a while and I'm listening to their new stuff. Like, I don't discover new music that much anymore. The last group I got into is Adarashi Gakko, and that's because a friend of mine was like, hey, you'll like these people a lot. And I'm like, oh shit, that makes me old. If I think even a little bit that I'm done with new music, that's bad. But I might be done with new artists, and I don't want to be that. But I'm like, I guess I'm old. I don't know. It's probably not for the best. You gotta decipher the lyrics to the new Tay Tay album to see which men she's talking shit about. I mean, look, I'm gonna hear the new songs. I will say this. I gotta do something because the only new music I hear these days is new songs that people do dances or trends to on TikTok and then later on Instagram when people re-upload their TikToks to Instagram. And that's bad. Because sometimes you're just like, oh shit, this is the song of the summer, right? And no, it's like an 8-year-old song that I didn't hear then. And it's like, okay. Yeah, and then it's like, all right, well, that's fun. Like, my exposure to new music can't just be one guy who likes to... There's this fucking dude that has like Pokemon in his name, but his account isn't Pokemon related. And he does a thing where he's like, nah, I don't even... Like, it says a text, I don't even like that kind of music. Also me. And then he's dancing to the song and he like does different camera angles and it's very fun and good. But like, that's not how that shouldn't be how I hear other songs on Beyonce's latest album first. You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be my discovery for Beyonce songs. Shouldn't be that dude. Like, oh no, that's not good. I mean, maybe I should look. I don't actively search out lame, terrible songs like that, but maybe I should. Maybe I should really get into parody music. I don't know. I do need to start discovering new stuff. I can't just wait for the next Gex album. Like, I just can't wait for the next Gex album. I have to start listening to other things. Anyway, I'll do the pause to the cause. We'll keep it short because we got to get into anime talk because I got 2 shows to talk about here. So we'll do that. We'll go over here to this screen. It got very warm. I think the air conditioning has been turned off in this house, and it's sweaty in my room right now, which is not great. I don't love that. But hey, I'm going to get through this pretty fast because there's not a lot of folks here in chat right now. If you're here and you're a subscriber, this is a great time for you to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you are a subscriber, you don't see ads during the stream, which is great, or when you come in, that's really nice. I try to take an ad break before the stream starts, so we don't have to take ad breaks during the stream. But yeah, if you come in, at any time during the stream and you're a subscriber, you don't see ads, which is nice. And I use the money that it feeds back into the business. The Lego set that I'm working on tonight came from wonderful folks, the money from folks. I was able to pick that up. So consider becoming a subscriber. We're trying to get to 50. I'm trying to get to 50. I'm currently at 37. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about it at 50. If you want to become a subscriber, you could do that. There are other ways to support me. I'm going to go through that now. This is my time to promote myself. And then we will get into talking about the anime that I've been watching since the last time we streamed, last Thursday. It's the stuff I watched basically yesterday and today. I got a Patreon at patreon.com/Pat Baer. I have a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. No pressure, but you can. Let's see. And then I got somebody who doesn't follow me sent me a whisper. That's fun. Let's just go to their channel. Why am I doing this? I shouldn't do this. Go to their channel. They don't do anything. I don't know them. They don't follow me. Great. I said I wouldn't get distracted, but I got distracted because somebody sent me a whisper, and I got distracted by that whisper. I feel bad. Get rid of that. I don't need that. Somebody trying to send a link. You can't. Distracting. I got a Patreon. Join my Patreon. It's full of good people, and it's cool. My $10 patrons are going to vote on what I build next. It's a nice little thing. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pat Baer. Head over onto my YouTube channel over there if you want. You're more than welcome to go do that. youtube.com/Pat Baer. Over on my YouTube channel, you can become a subscriber there for free, of course, or you can become a member. And if you want to do that, it would be rad. I would love it if you want to join me over on my YouTube channel. You get my Wednesday videos a day early, and my Wednesday videos are great. So you might want those a little early. I don't know. Those are monthly ways to support me, but if you wanted to, you could always go and do a one-time donation to my PayPal or my Ko-Fi. If you don't want to go through PayPal, I understand. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, and I'm going to promote my videos in a moment, to Patreon and Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I buy stuff. The Lego set that I'm currently working on right now, this kit here, the Retro Roller Skate 3-in-1, working on the boombox. I was able to pick up this kit because of your past generosity. Had the money to do so. Very happy about that. I've got a backlog of kits. I got a bunch of kits that came in and one more coming next week. I'd love to keep working on those. But also, if you wanted to decide what I build next, because you want to make the call, you could buy something from my Amazon wish list. Go over to Amazon, buy something there. It'll come in the mail. I'll make a video about that thing, so we'll get that out there so everybody can see that, and it'll go to my YouTube channel. The thing that you've purchased for me to build. It'll jump the queue and become the next thing that I work on. I've got Lego sets and model kits, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, some gear at the bottom. It's always nice to have some gear options, like a backup snipper clips would be nice. Just like a bunch of stuff that would be great to be able to have here and build if you wanted to. Obviously, all the things I'm talking about here are optional. That's certainly optional. If you want to support me, but you don't want to go through Amazon, I have a throne wish list, which is right now mostly gift cards because I'm trying to organize that best. And then, of course, also you can just go to USA Gundam Store, the most convoluted way to support me financially. Go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They send you a gift card code in your email. You then whisper me on Twitch, which hopefully you won't be a weird person and you're actually a person sending me a code, or DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open there with that gift card code, and then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. Again, that is the most convoluted way to support me, but people have done it. Multiple people. A few people have done it, which is always surprising and weird, but it's great. If you want to support me and not spend any money, I got a Discord. You're welcome to join that Discord. It's full of awesome people. It's real nice over there. Very chill. I have a couple of videos for you to check out. Please check out the latest episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, where I talk about all 11 isekai out this season. That's right. There are 11 different world anime, and some of them are great, and some of them I'm not fucking watching because I don't want to. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. All throughout the month of April, I have been talking about shows that I thought were fantastic from the winter season. So this episode of Kuma Baer is me talking about The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, which was a great isekai from last season. And as I say in the video, a bit of a hidden gem. Because some people will just be like, that doesn't appeal to me. It's really fun. It's just a very fun series with great supporting cast, and it focuses on a guy who is not the main hero, but he is the hero. He's not the capital H hero, but he is a hero. And it's really good. You should check it out. Or you should at least check out my video talking about it. Now we're going to get into some anime talk, because I've been watching some anime. But before we get into that, it's time for me to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera so I can keep working on the boombox here. And then also, I need to drink some water. So let's do that right now. All right. Anime. Gonna keep working on this while we talk about some anime here. Windbreaker, episode 3. Windbreaker is our guy who is he is joining this school for delinquents because he wants to rise to the top by fighting. Apparently, this town loves the delinquents because at a certain time, Bofurin, which is what they call the delinquents, have decided to help the local town out from gangs because there used to be a lot of gang activity. So people like them. Sakura, who has different colored eyes and his hair, he was born this way, are 2 different colors. And so he has faced discrimination because of that. Is kind of surprised that it turns out most of these delinquents seem pretty chill, and that was not what he was expecting. A guy named Sugashita wants to spar with Sakura. Apparently, Sugashita is a fanboy of the leader of Bufurin. We hear this from the fanboy of all of them. He is a fanboy as well, Suo, who is basically letting us know what's going on. And apparently, by Sakura saying that he wants to get to the top and wants to be the top, that is insulting to the current leader of the crew there. And so Sugashita is like pissed off about it. That's why. So this is coming in because he is mad about what's happening here. And then everyone is surprised when Sakura kicks Sugashita, and they're fighting, and everyone's just like, "Oh wait, he's not getting his ass kicked. That's weird." But then there's an announcement. Oh, what's going on? It's the representative of Bufurin, Umemiya, and everyone is respectful of this announcement, so they all take a pause, apparently. And basically, he's just like, hey, don't get in fights on the first day. Enjoy the new school. Like, hey, newcomers, enjoy the school. Don't get into fights, please. And hey, remember, part of your obligation is to protect the town. Like, basically, he's just like, hey, like, and the big sticking point is don't fucking fight the first day. We're tired of this shit. Everybody wants to fight here, but like, come on. So obviously they were fighting. Let's see, I need 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these. Great. And Sugashita obviously immediately kowtows about this. He immediately is just like, yep, yeah, okay, I definitely wasn't fighting because his hero said, hey, don't fight on the first day. So he immediately is pretending like they weren't fighting. And Suo kind of brokers a little bit of a peace there. But they're definitely going to fight again. And then Sakura's like classmates are like, hey, you're way stronger than we would have guessed. Like, hell yeah. And he's like, oh. we actually kind of seem really like, oh, yeah, all right. He's accepted. As a guy who is often not accepted at all, he's suddenly found, it feels like, oh, like maybe this is kind of a community. Like, oh, neat. All right, I need 3 of these. Three. Okay. Let's see. We meet a senior, Hiragai. Yeah. Hiragai, who is responsible for Sakura's class. And basically they're like, don't be tardy, don't be late to stuff. And Sakura recognizes this dude as one of the people that backed him up when the local gang were making trouble in the previous episode. Let's see. Somebody mentions Kodaha's name, and apparently he and Hirai, that's the girl that works at the restaurant that was first nice to our guy. So there's a whole thing about them knowing each other, and it's kind of weird. We found some stuff up there, and apparently he's like coughing blood. It was a weird look. I'm not explaining this well because it was a weird moment that I was like, is this supposed to be comic relief, or is it just really fucking weird? I wasn't quite sure. I think it was supposed to be comic relief. So this guy was like being all smooth senior boy, and then someone mentioned the girl he has a crush on, and he suddenly becomes like coughing up blood and weird. So then we get a info dump about the school, the structure. There are 4 kings who work underneath. They're like captains. So there's the guy who's in charge, and then there are the captains under them. And each captain is in charge of the grade. So that means here guy is one of the captains. So he's in charge of the freshman class then. And so they're going off of the 4 heavenly kings, which I'm not going to get into all of what that means, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's going to mean more, and if it does, then I'll try to give an explainer. But we're getting into some old history stuff, if we have to get into that. Apparently, the classes patrol the town, and Sakura is so fucking disappointed. Like, this dude, he went out of his way to come to this school because he thought he was going to be in fights all the time, and he was going to fight his way to the top and become like the best delinquent. And instead he is like doing basically town protection, almost like community service. So he is very unhappy about that. And also, like when I said community service, because they're not fighting with people. They're cleaning up after things that are going around the town, and they're like helping out and helping like get rid of graffiti, which is, come on. Like, I know that it's not like, oh, this wall got tagged. It's like, no, this person's property got tagged, but still, come on. Helping out the shopkeepers, but I don't know if we need to be like removing cool graffiti. I don't know. That just seemed weird. Let's see. Then they enter the end of one side of town, and there's a tunnel. And apparently this area is controlled by a different school. There's another school, the Shishiatorin, and they are different from Bofurin. And apparently there might be the school that Sakura wanted to go to, because they're ruthless. And apparently, a bunch of those people are chasing one person from their school, and then Sakura and Shugisha immediately just like attack one of the guys, And everyone's just like, oh, fuck, you're not supposed to do that. Um, and then apparently we get this character, Joe Togame. Um, and then he seems chill, but he is not chill because he immediately attacks the guy who got kicked because he is weak. So he attacks his own classmate for being weak and getting kicked in a surprise attack. Sakura almost ends up picking a fight with him, but then ends up not doing that because he does the old like, yeah, there's the right time and place for this. It's like I'll beat you up later. Here a guy pops a bunch of his like stomach medicine pills. They go and take the middle schooler to go report what happened. And the leader of the school on the roof, the leader of these delinquents, has a vegetable garden. And that seems weird. And everyone's very surprised. And one person's just like, he looks like a kindergartner. And that's the end of the episode. So we're building, we're getting lore. We found out about rivals. We're finding more out about the school. I'm still into Windbreaker. I like the main character. I love how fucking disappointed he is because what he thought this school was going to be based on what it is. Like, obviously, it feels like there's going to be more fights because now we have a rival idea. The idea that he's like, yeah, we're going to go patrol the town. And all they did was, like, help people. It's just very funny. But I also do like that he did get to show some of his skills and people were, like, into what he's up to and what he's about. So I did like that. I'm going to keep watching it. Episode 3. Sometimes that's make or break. I've dropped shows episode 1, but this episode was like, yeah. And then the second show I want to talk about is the second episode came out today, but I didn't watch the first episode because I got busy last week and didn't get to it. So I watched episode 1 of Whisper Me a Love Song. This is a show that I was anticipating. This is on High Dive. It is the only show this season I'm watching on High Dive. I'm glad I had one, so I didn't end up just letting it lapse because I have let my High Dive subscription lapse some seasons. But no, I've got one show that I'm interested in, so for now anyway, I'll keep watching. The premise of this show, I've talked about it before, is it is straight up a lesbian love story with a twist. And it is openly that. And the twist is very fun. We got our Himari Kino. Is our first day of high school. And then we meet up with her friend. She's one of our main characters. Her childhood friend Maki. And they have been they're friends for forever. Miki wanted to check out the new student welcoming thing and check out the music portion because her big sister's band is going to be performed. So these two girls, Miki and Himari, they're going to go check this out. And Himari is like the lead singer, who is Yori, is just like so into her. It is love at first sight. This girl is just like, this singer is awesome. She's so cool. I'm head over heels in love with her. Which is like, oh, fuck yeah. All right, cool. Hell yeah. Figuring this shit out. Great. Sounds good. Let's see. And apparently, Yori's not the lead singer of this band normally. She was subbing in. She's just filling in. But they want her to join full time because they're just like, hey, you were so great. You should definitely just join the band. And she's not really feeling it. And eventually they're like, just play a little bit more. And they find out, she's like, well, I'm more of a singer-songwriter. I'm not really looking to be a front person. And they're like, that's even better, that you make music, that you write your music. That's so awesome. Um, and they're like, cool, you write your own songs. You know, the thing we really need is love songs. And she's like, I don't do that. I don't write love songs because I've never been in love. And so they don't work because I haven't experienced it. Um, and she's like, people never even had a crush on. As far as I know, no one's even been interested in me. Um, okay, so of course that is the setup for Himari finding Yori and being like, I fell in love with you, at love at first sight. To tell you a little about these two characters, Himari is like reddish hair, kind of looks like a main ass character in an anime. And our girl Yori is tall. She's a little older. She is very tall. And so there's a height gap, and that's great. People love that. Anyway, Yori is just like, what? Someone has a crush on me? And a little bit is the thing of like a girl has a crush on me, but it's not even like all about the fact that a girl has a crush on her. It's that like anyone has a crush on her. She's just like, how does that work? What do I do with that? And then Miki, who we met before, her older sister, Aki, who's also in the band, is just like, they're kind of like teasing her, but also encouraging her. Because at a certain point, Yori's just like, I mean, I could try dating her, I guess. Like, I don't know, no one's ever, I mean, she seems cute. So, like, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. And she's like, I guess. And then people were like, immediately they're all like, oh, no, oh, we were teasing you, but hell yeah? Oh, no, we were just joking around, but like, yeah, you should do that. It's very cute and very fun. And then the big twist, which I talked about when we talked about this show. The big twist comes. We learn a little bit about Yori. So Himawari goes and meets up with her. Yori likes singing love songs, but not in public, which is fun. She just kind of likes to sing, and she's not been doing it to like become like a successful musician or something. She just does it because she loves it. So we get some info about her. And then Yori's like, hey, I also think there's something about you, and this seems great, and we should, we should try. We should try dating and see how it works. But this is not a chill romance show. It's a funny romance show, and the twist comes out, friends. Himawari, Himari, I said not Himawari. Himawari is a different name for a character. Himari is just like, oh no, I'm sorry. I fell in love with your singing. Your singing was so great that I fell in love with it at first sight. Not you. I'm not. No, I want like, do you have an album? Do you have like downloads? And Yori was like, oh no. Oh no. Well, all right. Okay. All right. Huh. Well, we'll see. We'll see. And then, so this series is going to be our girl, Yori, basically is like, yeah, well, what happens? We'll see about that because I'm going to make sure you fall in love with me. She's gone from, oh, someone likes me. I guess we could try dating. She seems neat. To, oh, you don't like me. You don't want art romantic. Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure that out. Which I think is very fun and a fun premise for a show. There also maybe some other characters that are also gay. I'm thinking mostly about Aki, because when Yor was like, yeah, I might try dating. I think we'll probably try dating her. The expression was like, oh, I was just teasing you, but it also may have been like a ping of like, but no, but you hang out with me. Um, yeah. Also, there may be other gay characters. The end credit song heavily implies there are other ladies who may be gay in the show. Uh, Episode 1 of Whisper Me a Love Song was fucking fun. I am very much on board with it. It is a thing I would like to see more of. There is a second episode. I believe it came out today, episode 2. So I am an episode behind, but I am certainly thinking about watching more of that shit because, yeah, that was fun. Um, Before we get into some other conversations, because I'm done with my anime chat, so now it's time to chat about other things. I should say, um, this is a cool fucking boombox. Like, here's the back of it. There'll be probably more in there. Look at this shit. We're like building out where the speakers are going to be and the subwoofers. Like, it has they went to the trouble of putting in empty space like you would if this was a boombox. They didn't have to do that at all. But they're putting in the like space for the air to move so sound can travel. Like, research was done on this, I guess. I don't know. It's some of that might feel like a no duh, but this feels more in depth than it needs to, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm still into Windbreaker. The fights are still well choreographed. The characters are fun. I don't know if I liked any of the new characters that came in. I did like the vibe of one of the rival people. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was pretty neat. And yeah, I am into the idea of Whisper Me a Love Song. I want to see this. I want to see this girl who doesn't quite understand love because she hasn't experienced it try to seduce a girl that said the wrong thing to her and made her think that she might have feelings. A girl who is now caught feelings and is like gonna make this work out somehow. I love that idea. Lord Cratchit says, I do wonder if the youngins understand why boomboxes were cool. No, they don't understand. They don't need to understand. It's okay. The idea that you could take your music with you and take your tapes out of your car. You didn't have to just listen to in the car or listen at your parents' expensive, tower of cassette decks and CDs and record players and radios and all that. And you could just like in the backyard listen to music, or in your room you had a boombox so you could listen to tunes. Like, nah, they don't know about that shit. It's okay that they don't know that stuff. They don't have to know that stuff. It's all right. They don't necessarily need it. Did I do this right? Yeah, this looks right. As long as they're, as long as they're vibing, it's okay. Now you display them on your phone loudly like a jerk. Yes, you have headphones or you just play them. But that's okay. Boomboxes were fantastic. Walkmans. I mean, even more than boomboxes, I think Walkmans were amazing. The idea that and the Discman, both incredible inventions. I had a tape deck. I had a Walkman variant that could record as well. So you could just record whatever. And that was great because sometimes you want to record yourself talking, or you just want to set it in front of the TV and record people talking, or music videos, the audio of recording the audio of music videos, or even with your boombox, recording the you were listening to the radio and you end up recording like a song off the radio, and you have to like always have a blank tape in there ready to go. You're listening to a show specifically because you want to hear the right song and the right moment. So you're going to frantically wait. You're like, well, it's the evening shift, so such and such DJ is probably going to play this song that I like, and I'll record it right off the radio so I can listen to it later on my tape deck. That's wrong. This piece goes here. Great. Build out our boombox. You had a cool metal Walkman for CDs that had a hand strap on it for the sporty folk. Yes, I had a strap on my Discman, and I had the anti-stabilizer, or the stabilizer thing that I used when I would plug it in, because my car, which was a Mercury Sable, the Mercury Sable did not have a CD drive, but it did have a tape deck. And so I had an adapter that looked like a cassette tape, but it had a wire coming out of it, and the wire had a headphone jack. So I plugged that into the headphone of the Discman, the aux, and basically it was an aux cable, but instead of like having the aux adapter, I just had the tape deck, and then so you just plug the tape in, and then you could do that, and that was fucking awesome. And that's how you listen to your CDs in the car. And then there was either somebody designated as the holder of the CDs, or you used the anti-skip technology and you shoved your Discman in a place where hopefully it wasn't going to slide around on the bucket seat. Maybe you may try to strap it in, but it doesn't really fit in if you're using the seat belts and after that. But then if there's somebody sitting shotgun, they become the holder of the Discman. Now's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you as we get into finishing up this Lego set, because there's not much left to this. We're going to finish it tonight, everybody. I didn't think we would, but we are going to finish it, but with not much time to spare, which is good, because it means that we'll start a new kit on Monday. What are you watching this week? Are you playing any video games? You watching any TV? Did you go to the movies this weekend? What are you up to? Or is there something you're looking forward to? Or you pre-order something that comes out on Tuesday? Like, what's got you excited out there as I start to build the different buttons in here? I will tell you that I played a lot of Hearthstone. I'm going to be playing Hearthstone on Tuesday because I have a new deck that I really love and I want to show off that silly deck. Hearthstone did a thing. The Hearthstone devs did a thing where they're changing the weekly rewards by making them harder and then giving better rewards, but they didn't match up right. So now they're pulling back where they're still going to give a bunch of more rewards, but you're going to have to do less work. It's going to be more work than before. It was kind of a mess. It's fine because they didn't really change the game. They just changed how the quests work for... and the quests, if you're unfamiliar, you get basically points for doing it, and you get gold for it. And then you can change that gold into packs for free. So if you want to be a free-to-play player like I am, currently I have bought expansions in the past, but most of the time, and I've bought card decks before, but I've been free-to-play in Hearthstone for like 4 years. So basically when they mess with how much gold you get and how hard it is to get that gold, people lose their minds, and I'm certainly one of those people that I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's got to get blocked. You banned. Get out of here. Yep, I am. That is trash, Lord Crashington, and I'm kicking him to the curb. Lord Crash says, I ruined a bunch of CDs in my first car that had a CD player due to bumps that I assumed scratched them. Yes, bumping, even unless you had the anti-scratch stuff, which just basically the anti-scratch made a what do you call it? I don't know, a delay. Basically, it had a buffer, but that would still also ruin your disc if you got a lot of bumps. Because yeah, that would just scratch. The laser would bounce. All right, we have to build the handle, and I think the handle is the last thing we have to build with this. And then we'll wrap this thing up. But yeah, if anybody else is watching anything, playing anything they want to talk to me about, I would love to hear from you. What you've been up to. Again, Hearthstone. Hey, I finished Life Eater. Fuck, man. I don't know. Life Eater is awesome. I still don't know if I can recommend it to people. I think Life Eater is an experience, but I don't know if it's a good one. It is a very compelling video game. It's also kind of fucking devastating. And again, it is arresting. It is a game that, like, I am sitting on. I'm sitting on my feelings about that game. I would never stream it. I don't like that I tried to be good. Like, you have to be, to progress the game, you have to be good at the puzzles. And the puzzles are figuring out who is going to get kidnapped to be sacrificed to an evil god. And I got good at it because it's also management. It's also like data management. And I got good at being that person. And that's a weird thing to say. It's affecting. Life Eater is going to fucking stick with me. If I did like a list of a games list at the end of the year, it would definitely be on it. Because I can't imagine that in December I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I played Life Eater. Like, nah, it's in me. It's in my head right now. And I kind of can't stop thinking about it. I don't ever want to play it again. It's fucking dark. It's not grim dark. It's not edgelord dark. It's just a fucking lot. Lord Crash says, which ends with weird pauses in audio that just become normal parts of the song. Oh yeah, when it goes like that. And Lashbrook says, finally watched the voice actor radio show and it's pretty fun. Yeah, I really like it. I really enjoy the many sides of voice actor radio. It's cute, and it could also be gay, but it's mostly right now just kind of cute and fun. Dirty says, my first car didn't have a cassette or CD. It had an 8-track, which is pretty cool to me since I had a great collection of picked up from garage sales throughout my childhood. Nice. Well, that's good. My first car had the tape deck. That was it. We're building the antenna, everybody. Got to be able to pick up the radio stations with our antenna. So I got to put the antenna on here, which is going to be on the back of this. It is. Oh, that's what that piece is like that. So you're saying you'd be good at running a cult? Yes. Oh, hey, we're at 38 subscribers out of 50. Oh, that might have been Ghost Valve renewing. Got us up to 50. Got us to 38, I should say. That's awesome. We're at 38. We're on our way to 50. That's rad. And we're done with this. I did not expect to finish the boombox, but I should have, because the thing that took the longest was the biggest of the 3 builds. And this is the boombox, which turned out great. Look at that thing. It's so cute. I love it. I am not going to immediately disassemble this. I will get rid of all of the other Lego that is on my desk so I can start a new model kit. But you saw the news that Rocket League has an X-Men 97 event starting next week, so you're excited to play more of that. That's awesome. I haven't played Rocket League in a really long time. That feels like a good reason to get back into Rocket League. That's a fun crossover that I like the sound of. I'm going to take a photo of this. So we're not going to start something new because I don't know what to start, and we don't have much time anyway. My $10, you know what I will do? What we'll do is I'm going to take a photo of this. I'm going to take a photo of this boombox. Put this on here so we got a little bit of a backdrop. That's good. I'm going to take a photo of this boombox. And then I'm going to show you some of the things that my $10 patrons are going to be able to vote on tomorrow of things that I might, of kits, new kits that I've got, and they'll be able to decide what I build next. So I've got that are going to be up for grabs are going to be Metal Garurumon. So we got ourselves a Metal Garurumon right there. You may know Metal Garurumon as a Digimon. So we got a Digimon to build. We also have the Maxter, the high grade Maxter, which is a premium Bandai kit that I did not buy the first time it came out, but this is the second run, and I immediately picked that up. The fact that I am going to build another G Gundam high grade is very funny to me. That's so great. And the third option is I don't know how to pronounce this one. I'll look it up. The R Gyagya. It's Gya. I want to say it's Gyagya, but it might be something else. I will listen to other people pronounce it. The photo I have here is very small on a very cool looking stand. It's a night kit. It's a mobile suit night. I love night themed mobile suits. I fucking love that shit. And it's got big shoulders with big pauldrons coming off the shoulders, and it's got like a backpack that has weapons on it and a cool lance. No, not a lance, but a cool like long beam sword. The colors are fantastic. I hope the gold looks anywhere close to that. I haven't looked in the box yet. So those three are going to be up for grabs for voting wise. I also have another kit coming next week, so it won't be available for voting. And then I have my backlog of stuff, the Buster Gundam. This has never won a poll. My $10 patrons do not want me to build the high-grade Buster Gundam. And the RX-782, I've already built twice on stream, but this one has weapons and was really cheap. This is the entry grade RX-782. I built a bunch of high grade RX-72s, but this is the entry grade one, which has, again, not won the poll. But I've built the regular version of that kit, and I've built the version of it that has the that was the from Breaker Battlelog, that was the USA version. So it is the third time me building that, but this one has all the weapons that weren't in the first version. So I don't know. Entry grades are fast builds. I'll build it at some point. Some point I'll just, hey, here's the other thing. At some point, I just decide I want to build my backlog, and I will. There'll be a time where I'm just going to go, you know what? What I'm going to do now is build this kit that I just want to build. Like, I love the Buster Gundam, and I've built the Master Grade years ago. I feel like none of you were watching my streams in the first year when I built it. Maybe Harold remembers, but like, I don't think any of you were there when I built the first Buster Gundam Master Grade. So I can build the high grade and it'll be fine. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I want to say I don't think anybody has. Anyway, that's going to wrap up things here on the old stream. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We are not done because, of course, we do have to raid. We have to go find somebody doing cool shit out there and go spend some time with them. So let's go on a raid and find somebody doing some stuff. Let's see, who is streaming on a Saturday evening? Because the party doesn't stop, even though I'm going to stop streaming. Who is doing stuff? I've got to stop saying people's names out loud when I'm going to go check out their streams. Because I want to see how long they've been streaming before I go and decide to raid them. Like, let's see. Liz Star has been streaming for a few hours, but she often streams for a longer, so we haven't raided Liz in a while. Let's go raid Liz Star. Liz is great people, so we're going to go on a raid there. Raid Liz Star. So feel free to come on this raid because Liz is playing some retro games. It's RPG night. Playing an obscure SNES JRPG called Treasures of the Rudars. Rudars. That sounds neat. Let's go check out Liz. Feel free to come along on this raid. Come back on Monday. I'm starting a new model kit. I don't know what it's going to be, but it'll be great. And you can come hang out with me for that. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.